Hey there, Soulshines. My name is Michelle, and today we are learning a basic. It's a little bit past a basic, but you can find it in some basic patterns, and that is the treble. I accidentally call it the triple frequently, but it is the treble. We're going to learn the treble, the double treble, and other tall stitches. There is a section of this that may or may not be educational for you. I was kind of experimenting with some of the tall stuff, but I am putting chapters in so that you can skip to, know how many chains to chain up when you want to do a new row and things like that. So I hope you guys learned something new, and I'll see you at the creation station.
Today is treble, treble, double treble. Okay, I'm playing with Halloween. So I have made a chain, and again, up in the iCards, there is a link to the chain, and we're checking out to see how the new fabric, it's a gray fabric, so we'll see how that works. Got some Halloween colored yarn here. And the treble stitch, which I accidentally call the triple stitch all the time, it does show up in patterns occasionally, as does the double treble, but not frequently. But you can go like really big, so we're gonna see how big we can go with this chain. And while we're doing it, I'm going to teach you. So, you know that you've got the single crochet, which you go in and pull out, and there's a tutorial for that as well. And then the half double crochet, you come down a couple and do that, and you go through, and so it's like 1.5 stitches. And then you have also tutorial. And then you come down 1, 2, 3, usually you come to the 4th chain, and you do a double, and you go through, and again, iCard, okay? Well, for a triple, typically you count to the 5th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to wrap this around twice. You're going to stick it in, and you're going to pull it up, and you're going to go through under 2. You go through under 2, and you go through under 2. So it's a treble because you've done 3 of these, right? When you do a double crochet, you go through 2, and you go through 2, and you've got 1, 2, and then a single has 1. So single, double, treble. Okay. So let's do a treble crochet again. To do a treble crochet, the key is you wrap it around twice. And you've got 3 loops on your hook, or 3 yarn things, okay? That can help you know how many you're doing. So if you've got 3 on your hook and you're doing a treble, then you're going to do yarn over 3 times once you pull it up here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I yarn over twice. I come down in, I pull up my yarn, and then I'm going to go 3 times because it's a treble. 1, 2, 3. Now here's where it gets confusing for at least US terms. I do not know the terms in any other way of doing this. I just know US terms. A double treble. It shouldn't be called a double treble. It should be called a quadruple or whatever, but it's called a double treble. We're going to yarn over once, yarn over twice, yarn over 3 times, so we've got 4 things. We're going to go in and pick up our yarn, And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a double treble, and as you can see, it's a little bit taller than this one. Like I said, I think it should be called a quad. That's what you're doing, is 4 times. So you have the double treble, but then the next one is called a treble treble. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 5 loops on your hook. So I would call it like a quintuple or whatever, but it's the treble treble, and you go through and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So some of the things to think about is making sure, like if I were to go in and I'm just going to do 4, I'm going to go in, and if I were to come in and I'd be like pulling it really tight, pulling things really tight, it's not going to look like this one. See, it just looks funky, it looks off. It's really important when you are doing these. I'll just go back and do a treble here, or a double treble. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't tighten my yarn very much. I just wrap it around like I need to. I go in and I just kind of pull it through. But as you can tell, I'm not tightening anything as I go. I just pulling it through, kind of loose. And then that gives me a consistent consistency. So I did have a thought about why they call it what they call it. I have a reason I'm undoing them, by the way. I want to see how tall we can go at the end here. If you just do yarn over twice and you do your normal treble, one could call that a single treble. And then because they're only adding loops, in their mind, it's still a treble stitch. It's still the same kind of stitch, but now they're calling it a double treble because you're going an extra one. Now, do I agree with the naming of this? No. But I think I understand it. It's like, okay, we made a single treble, now we made a double treble, let's make a treble treble. And to me, it's just very confusing, the naming of these. But there is a chart, and there is a blog post about it by Mowgli that I'm going to make sure is linked, because I think it would be really, 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 really cool to understand it. And her chart is really awesome because she's really good about naming what they are. Okay. And I have seen patterns, usually lace patterns, that use the bigger ones. Typically, the patterns that I've come across trebles, it's either been trebles or double trebles. But every once in a while, I'll come across a pattern, and like I said, it's usually a lace pattern that uses a bigger one. So this is treble. Let's do a double treble. Go all the way across here. Let's see how tall we can get this. Okay, so that was a double treble. Let's do a treble treble. And as far as remembering how to do it, you can use the chart that Mowgli has. Or most of the time when you come across a stitch like that, in your patterns, there's usually like a key that kind of explains it. So hopefully you've got that. Okay, so we're going to do the next one. This was yarn over twice. This was yarn over 3 times. This is yarn over 4 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go in and yarn over. And if you notice, I'm kind of having to hold this kind of funny. I'll show you a little more. Let's do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And usually if I'm using these, I'm counting how many times I go over. I'm not naming the stitches. Okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm kind of holding here to keep my consistency. But I will go up part way, and just like how I have to move up when I'm chaining, I'll pull up, come up higher on the stitch and hold it so that I can make it all the way to the end. Okay, need more yarn. So now I'll do 7. Okay, I'm going to come down in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of looks like a harp. You can make it like curvy here and then it'll be a harp. Let's see. Now we need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I tell you, the more this gets, the more complicated it is for actually doing it and having the consistency stay. Especially because as you get higher, it looks like it's messing up because it's getting wider. But really, it looks fine. It might be a little bit different at the top, but it looks good, I think. Okay, now where were we at here? I think I need 9 next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come down here, grab this, and I'm gonna hold it because I find that holding it helps me, so I'm not trying to make it too tight. And I'm just gonna keep pulling it through, and I'm gonna come up further, and I'm just gonna keep pulling it through, making sure I'm actually going under 2 of my loops as I work it off. Like I said, it's starting to look funny at the top, but it's not once it kind of, well, that one did kind of go funny at the top. Wonder why that is. Look, I can pull that yarn. Well, that's not a very good thing for me teaching you, right? There's a reason the really tall stitches aren't there. Got my 8 wound up on my thing, I'm holding it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm wondering if there's a trick I'm missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm not even halfway across. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Okay, I've loaded up 10 loops on there. I feel like I need to be a little bit tighter as I'm looping them around. Let's try this. We're going to experiment here. Experimentable on this stuff. I'm going to hold this and I'm going to do these couple tighter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that it's tighter up here. I'm going to see if that makes a difference. And then I'm going to still do my consistent loose down here. Hold my spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, it was kind of loose in the middle. What did I do different there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I feel like there's a trick on this hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guys, seriously, getting this tall, it kind of looks cool, but at the same time, keeping this in consistency, it's a challenge. I'm going to do tight here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I'm going to try it tight. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And it still goes loose up there. Technically, you could keep doing this. It looks kind of cool. I don't know what you would really use it for. Like, actually, to do this and then go down again. Let's see if I can do 11 and go down smaller again. That would be kind of fun. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, let's see if I can go smaller again. And then I'll tell you my idea. Because I'm like, I don't know why you would use these super tall ones. I can see, I've used it where you wrap over 6 times before, and I can kind of see that. Like I said, in lace. But these are so hard to get the yarn consistency anyway. Don't know if I can get this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, where's my tall one? Now, I could kind of think if you could get it to consistently then turn around and go back down the other way, then it would look like the and it is kind of starting to do that once I pinned it. This would be definitely something you would want to block. It reminds me a little bit of the mouth things on a knight's thing, so that could be kind of fun. Well, that was interesting. Okay, I'm not going to go to the end. I want to show you what you would do to go back the other direction. Okay, we're going to do some trebles, just regular trebles over to the other side. So this is do 2. We're going to go in the 5th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and I kind of hold it there just for security measures. Do 2. Going over because I'm just doing the whole row as trebles, and then 2 more, wrapping over twice. 1, 2, 3, wrapping over twice, going in, picking one up, going through 2 loops, going through 2 loops, going through 2 loops. Let's pretend I got to the end. I'm really done with these. Okay. You're going to turn your work, and let's say you wanted to do more back. What do? You're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you've gotten yourself to the same height again. So now you're going to yarn over twice. We're going to not worry about this first one because we're counting the chain as coming out of there. So then we're going to go in the second one. And we're going to do our pull through. And that's what you would do. In general, you would chain up there, and you would want to watch your gauge because it may be different for you. But you would want to chain 1 more than the size stitch you're doing. So we'll go over, we'll just stop here. We're going to turn our work, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do double treble. So we want 1, 2, and then 1 more. And we're going to go in and do our double treble. And we're going to do 1 more. Whoops. 1 double treble means you need 3 loops around. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you can see that this kind of becomes about the same size as the rest of it. If you were to put a stitch in the top of this, it just kind of makes it look like it's about the same. But you can also see it's looking like it might get a little bit tight. So maybe, depending on how my gauge is, if I wanted to do taller one, I would add, instead of just adding 1 more stitch, I might need to add 2 more. I wouldn't know unless I tried it and saw how well my stitches, my chains up, matched with what I was doing. But typically, 1 more than what you would want to do. You can kind of count. If you're like, say you were wanting to figure out, you're like, what stitches did they use? How many is that? You could come in and you can count that. You've got 1 going here, and you've got 2 going here, and then it seems to be the 3rd one here. So, oh, that must be a treble stitch because I've got 1 stitch here and I've got 1 stitch here, and then I've got 1 stitch that has a stitch in it, so that's 3. What do I have here? Oh, I can't really read it very well. I mean, I can kind of see it on this side, but if I turn it over, I have my little things again, and I've got 1, 2, 3. And again, this is kind of harder to read because it's that side, so I'll just turn it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that must be a double treble. That's really cool. If I did a double treble, I could repeat this. And it should look and be the same height. It would be how you would take apart and reproduce a pattern, as you kind of look at the way the stitches are. And in this case, you would count those little cross things that come across right there. I hope that was fun to learn about trebles and double trebles and triple trebles and quad trebles, and I don't know all the names of them, but like I said, Mowgli, she's got a chart. I will link to her blog in my description box because I think it's really cool, and maybe they have some information that I missed on how to do these. But like I said, to count them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 is the top one. And if you're not there, you can count 1, 2, and you've got the one your stitch goes into, that's 3. And you know that what you've got. Remember to let your blah 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 blah. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember to let your light shine through your creations, and I'll see you guys next time.